Yo, what's up, YouTube? If you guys are having a good day, that's fantastic. I'm glad to hear that. Today we're going to be checking out something that may or may not ruin it. It may make it better if you enjoy just me in general, but we're reacting to Reddit's most disturbing confessions. With that being said, if you guys want to see these done live, go check out twitch.tv/naxale or go just click the link down below in my description. Without further ado, though, let's stop the yapping and get into the reacting. That was kind of clean. Sorry.
Serious on the internet sounds like a terrible idea, yet people can't help themselves, and that often backfires. One man confessed to faking his father's death. Another revealed
even when it's anonymous,
was stealing money from its own employees.
Why would you do that?
The confession was so unsettling it made readers want to find the person behind it. Today we're diving into Reddit's most disturbing confessions.
Okay,
we'll begin with the strange cases and work our way to the most shocking. So,
all right, sounds good.
The goal, guys, is 2.5 million subscribers by the end of 2026.
God dang it.
World if you subscribe.
Go subscribe, guys.
Very best to put out the best videos I possibly can for you. I'm Visual Venture and you are awesome.
Let's go.
The meme confession. In April 2013, a Reddit user confessed to taking someone's life. He thought he was safe because no one on Reddit knew his true identity. But people online just had to figure out who he was. It showed a bear that looked sad or guilty.
What the hell?
A two-part structure. The top line described a situation. The bottom line revealed the embarrassing secret behind it.
Never heard of this, chat.
Things like I farted and blamed the dog, or that it actually supports the Mets. Real fun.
In April.
Or that, you know, I farted, and then yeah, he killed my dad.
2013, a Reddit user named Naruto posted his own version, but his confession wasn't funny. It was far darker than anything that came before it. Naruto's confession followed the same format as always. The top line explained the situation. He said his sister's boyfriend used substances and sometimes got violent. Then came the bottom line.
Okay.
That was his confession. He
Valid, yeah.
He ended the boyfriend's life by giving him substances without him knowing. Authorities ruled it an overdose. He titled the post,
It's like reading that and you're like, damn, where the hell is this gonna go? Because you know your eyes automatically usually read top to bottom. You're like, where the hell is this going? Like, this is gonna be funny. And you get to the bottom line and it's like, yeah, I killed him. I made him over. What? I'm sorry. It's a joke, right? But I mean, damn, that's like a 50-50 situation though, because like you kind of go like, damn, like he ended his life doing substances, but he already did substances and he was already violent. So, you know, it depends on how violent, depends on a lot of things, to be honest. I know killing somebody is not right, but there's also a lot of situations where you can't go, oh man, that shouldn't happen. You're just playing you're playing the good advocate. You're like, this can't happen, it's illegal, but you're not living in that situation, man.
Finally have the guts to say it. The post got a lot of attention, over 10,000 upvotes and 3,000 comments. Of course, some thought it was just dark humor, but others believed it was real. The comment section turned into a debate. As people argued, Naruto jumped in to clarify. He said, there is some truth behind it, but I'm not saying what was true and what wasn't. Then,
well, why didn't he just go ahead and do it anonymously? Why is he actually doing it on account? What the f? I thought these were done anonymously and somehow they found out. But now these people were dumb enough to actually do it under their username, their actual Reddit. You deserve to get caught. You're just dumb. Like, there's no intelligence inside of your brain.
Naruto disappeared again. Now people were convinced he actually did it. And that's when Redditors decided to bring him to justice. Naruto's Reddit account did not show his real name, but everything he posted was public. So users went through his old posts and comments. They wanted anything that could reveal his identity.
But why would you use your main account for anything like that? Like, I'm not saying you should ever do this, chat, but brother, are we actually serious? This is a joke.
They figured out that Naruto was actually 24-year-old Colton Goodbrand from San Diego. Once his name was revealed, the story spread fast. Meanwhile, in San Diego, Colton went online and saw what was happening. People figured out he was behind the confession. His name and face were already being shared on blogs. He tried to control the situation. First, he posted on Reddit saying the confession was just a joke. Soon after, he deleted his Reddit account. But he wasn't done. More blogs published the story. Even worse, Reddit users already sent his information to the FBI. Someone also contacted the San Diego Police Department. Their cold case.
Damn, you can't do something like this where you post something like that because they don't know. Like, I'm not saying that he was right if he did do this, but they don't know any of the story, any of your life. They don't know anything you lived. All they're thinking is that they're doing justice for the person you killed, which in a term, they are correct. You shouldn't just take that into your own hands with a lot of people's thought process. Now, I'm in the thought process of like somewhat of a vigilante, and I do that mindset where it's like you get rid of the bad and you keep the good, and it obviously there's to a certain extent, but we don't know this guy's life, we don't know this guy's story, so ultimately doing this is like going out of your way to put somebody behind bars, but at the same time it's kind of on him. It's literally bro's fault. Bro literally said, hey, my sister's boyfriend does substances and gets violent, so I took him out to the picture. Brother, what do you think's gonna happen? They're not gonna find your account? Bro didn't think the tweet would go viral, even though you know that's what he was trying to do.
Case unit opened an investigation. In the end, police never told the public if the confession was real, but no arrest was made. Later, a journalist reached out to Narado's sister. They asked if she ever had a boyfriend who passed away in a suspicious way. Her answer was direct. She said, "It's an ill-advised prank. I know no one who has overdosed." This confession may have been debunked, but this next one, unfortunately, was very real.
Bro was just trying to go viral, realized he up, got in a lot of trouble, but nothing happened because it wasn't real. Granted, if done correctly, some things will just never be found out. It's kind of scary, the world we live in, but it is what it is.
The fake life confession. I
Fake?
built my life and career on lies and fraud. In February 2024, a post
Please.
with that title appeared on Reddit. The person behind it was
Please tell me we're on an anonymous account.
anonymous. Their username was Transportation OK 4728, so we'll call him TOK.
I don't know
In
if I
his
would-
post, he
that might be
described
too
how he
much.
Got into a top American college by lying. He even secured a full scholarship. What stood out was his tone. He sounded proud, like he beat the system, but that confidence did not last. By the end, everything came crashing.
Oh my god, brother, what are we doing? Why would you say that? There's so much like, dude. And he's like, I'm so smart, so I'm gonna post it to Reddit so everyone can see that I'm so smart. I hate cocky people, and this is why y'all cocky, prideful people who think you're stronger, better than somebody else in any fashion or way deserve to be taken down a peg. Do you deserve your life to be in ruin or tragedy to happen? No, of course not. But you get what you give, and if you give a cocky attitude and you get a cocky attitude back by getting slapped in the face by a big fat, no, I'm just kidding. But the point is, don't be cocky if you don't want like repercussions. Karma's a bitch, truly is, and I love when karma comes and just smacks people in the face. It's just the best thing ever, man, because it's truly deserved. Let's go.
TOK said his life of fraud
called being
began
a bully.
in high school in India. He had poor grades,
Chat.
crashing down. TOK
This is this might be Bangladesh. I can't tell.
fraud began in high school in India. He had poor grades because he didn't study. Even so, he wanted to attend an American college. So when it was time to apply, he decided to cheat the system. He forged his transcripts. He changed some grades from 58% to 91%. He created an email and pretended to be his school.
Brother was goated. This guy is a mad intelligent. He is an intelligent person. Why the hell would you not just keep that to yourself? Why would you ever put this on the internet? I would never speak about me lying about going into a fake school. If you guys fake going into a school, you did everything right, you made sure everything was good, you didn't get caught for a long ass time, you knew you were solid, would you say it on Reddit? Brother, this downfall is going to be absolutely fucking atrocious.
Principal. He even used ChatGPT to write his application essays. TOK applied to several colleges. Most rejected him, but Lehigh University in Pennsylvania offered him a full scholarship.
Wait, why do we know
to cover
this?
Tuition and housing. TOK secured an opportunity.
Did he tell us what university it was?
Enough for him. The scholarship didn't cover his meals. Meals cost about $5,000 each year. So he told an even bigger lie.
So, he decided to convince the college that he lost his father to cancer.
To make it believable, he created a fake death certificate for his father.
This college low-key just giving out absolute like charity. Did they not do a background check? My man says my dad died, here's his death certificate, and they're not like, maybe we should do a little background check, look up his name, look up this, look up that. Nah, bro, they're just like, okay, dude, like, you're telling me you couldn't look up something similar with his name on Facebook or somewhere and find it? Like, brother, what? Damn, bro, that's crazy. Okay.
TOK arrived in the US to start college, but his lies did not stop.
Oh, he was in a
cheated
different
almost
country.
Every exam. When it was time to get an
Dumb.
internship after his first year, he made a fake resume. It worked, and he got a paid internship. For all
This guy got away with everything and then goes, I need the attention on Reddit. I need to hear people say that I'm the smartest person alive and that I can fake my daddy's death. Bro, that's crazy, bro. That's actually insane.
someone who read TOK's post got mad.
Imagine his dad died, bro, a year after he wrote that. That would be so sad, but karma, holy.
very mad. To him, the confession was insulting to students who worked hard. And by taking the scholarship, TOK blocked someone more deserving. So he set out to expose TOK. He noticed something small but important.
I will say that yes, somebody did deserve it more, but at the same time, TOK kind of cooked, okay? You can say what you want about him, be like he's a horrible person, be like him bragging about it on the internet stupid, which it absolutely is, and he deserves getting caught. But if brother kept this to himself and just locked in and just focused up, I mean, he kind of cooked. Is it wrong? Absolutely. But it still do be that survival of the fittest world, and he low-key kind of cooked with his, he's like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and then boot bada bing, and guess what, he got a paid internship. He was cooking. But I agree, somebody's more deserving, especially after somebody drops on Reddit, I just lied about my whole life and got free college tuition. Bro, what
TOK's Reddit account only followed one university. That
no,
university was Lehigh.
he
Then
did
found an
not
older post
follow his university. That's not real. Oh my god. What the f is the point of being anonymous, chat, if you're gonna follow people you know or the school you go to? What are we doing? This guy will be fine in life, and he deserves to get kicked out of school. He'll be fine in life because he's mad smart. I mean, being able to forge all this stuff is like actually insanely intelligent. So like he genuinely will be okay. As long as this ego check right here slapped him right across the mouth and told him, brother, lock in because you can do something with your life, but this is not it.
showing a building on campus. At that point, the Reddit user took action. He saved screenshots of the confession. Then he sent them directly to the university. About a month later, Lehigh University opened an investigation.
Damn, that looked good. Anyway.
The detail.
Brother, what are you doing if the school that you're going to finds out that you've been lying about everything? Your dad dying, everything to do with your like scholarship was a lie. You did not do good in school. You did not care about school, yada yada. What are you doing? I am genuinely being like, mom, dad, I'm coming home. Dad, somehow you're dead, but now you're alive. I need help. Like, dude, I am getting the out of Dodge because that would be terrifying. Is it karma? 100%. Do you think he did that? No, I don't think he did, because I think he was still confident at some like level of weirdness. But yeah, that wow, brother, I am like, peace, deuces.
In the post matched only one student, 19-year-old Aryan Anand. In April 2024, Aryan was arrested.
The 19-year-old was arrested 2 months ago on a string of charges, including felony counts of forgery and theft of services.
Bro, so
Faced
smart
up
too.
to 20 years in prison, but the case did not go to trial. Instead, a deal was made. Aryan pleaded guilty to forgery. In return, the university dropped the $85,000 he owed them. He was sentenced to time served. After that, he was expelled and deported back to India. In July 1996, a mother and child were involved in a hit and run. The child survived, but the mother didn't. The community was shaken.
How the hell?
What made it worse was that the
What a W mom though. She really took full impact just so that, damn, like I don't even think that was on purpose, but that's depressing as hell. Damn, brother, what? I was like hyping that freaking like ad up that he just dropped because that was like a really like it convinced me. Like I almost wanted to get the Addy Ryan. But then we get hit with that, bro. Like, and that wasn't. I'm sorry. Damn, bro, that fucking blows. What the hell, man?
driver was never found. For nearly 30 years, the case remained unsolved. Then in May 2025, an anonymous Reddit user claimed he was
I'm not gonna lie, this could have been the craziest story of that kid growing up to find this motherfucker.
the driver. The confession started with a simple question on Reddit. What is the most messed up thing you have ever done? Most people shared minor aggressions.
Please.
But one response stood out. A user said he
I'm honestly glad that this guy didn't use an anonymous account.
was involved in a hit and run in California in 1996. A woman and child were affected, but he said he got away scot-free. He even gave a location. It happened at the intersection of Van Owen Street and Louise Avenue. He said he was only confessing because the statute of limitations already passed. That meant he could no longer be
Oh my god, bro. I don't know if I could. I get it. Like I would never. Oh, dude. Oof. Okay. If you accidentally ran over somebody, right? And you have a life, like, and you have your own family and stuff. I understand. Like, I understand the concept of like not turning yourself in, but the amount of guilt that I would feel for this family would be unsurmountable, and I don't think I would ever have this like thought process of like, damn, like I'm not gonna turn myself in. Like I think I would not want to, because I have a daughter and I want to see her grow up and be everything she can be. But at the same time, like, what if that was me and then my daughter was left alone, you know? Like, oh bro, and then they're like, say, oh, I'm only posting this because the statute of limitations is done. Fortnite dance on that shit. What the hell are we doing? What are we doing, bro? Like, you're fucking awful. This is an awful human being. And I also want to know why he did the hit and run. Like, how did it happen? Like,
charged for the crime. One user decided to check if the story was real. They searched the location and found an article from the LA Times.
That article, along with others from the time, not only confirmed the OP's claims, but also revealed the horrifying details of what actually happened that day.
because there's kind of two things, chat, right? Was this person accidentally ran over and the person just didn't want their life to be ruined because they ran somebody over? Now, as messed up as that is, in all reality, like, that would track, right? Like, you do an accident, you don't want anybody to know you made a mistake, right? So you just move on with your life, and in this situation somebody died from that mistake. So it's like, it's one of those like top tier mistakes that you can't make, because now you're fucked, and like your entire life's gonna be just thinking about that, and it's all gonna be bent around that will ever be found out, blah 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 blah. But now there's more that plays into that. Was he drinking? Was he on drugs? Was he around? Was he going over the speed limit? There's so much that goes into that, to when it becomes a concept of like, how much of an accident was it really, and can this guy even have an out? Like, can we even go, okay, this guy was in the wrong, but it makes sense why he didn't want to get caught because it was genuinely an accident? Or is it more along the lines of, it definitely wasn't an accident, he was in the wrong, and of course it was an accident since he probably didn't mean to hurt this person, but at the same time, if you're drinking and driving, you've made that decision.
The article listed victims. They were Ruby Moreno and her daughter. The driver did not stop to help. He even hit another car while escaping. Ruby passed away, but her daughter survived. No one was ever arrested. Reddit users were furious.
I didn't even, dude. I don't know. People are always going to get angry about certain situations. They're always going to get mad. And like, I do think he's in the wrong and he should have stopped. I would have stopped. Anybody with a genuine heart would have stopped. But at the same time, there's like so many people in the world who just like would panic in the situation, do something differently. This guy just seems like an awful human being, but I don't know. It's just like, you can judge from the outside and know what was right and what was wrong, but in the situation, you can't fully say what you would do unless you've done it before. Because it's like saying, I would take a bullet for my best friend. You don't know if you would take that bullet for your best friend. In that moment where the person is pointing a gun at your best friend and you have to step in front of that bullet, are you taking the bullet for your best friend? You have 1 second to decide. There's no more seconds past that moment, and if you haven't decided by the time that I'm talking right now, he's gone, he's dead, because you haven't decided, okay, I want that. It's a split-second decision with a lot of panic, anxiety, a lot of things going on inside of your brain. And I'm not saying he's in the right, he's definitely in the wrong, but that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the human psyche and how we evaluate a situation where we go, okay, I messed up, let me I should stop. Doesn't stop because you don't want to get caught. And that's just a lot of things, bro. That's just a lot of people. So it's just something I always play into the factor. I'm not, again, he should go to jail, he should get in trouble for this, because he literally killed somebody and didn't have any like remote of like compassion. He was like, and he's posting about it, like he's literally fucking bragging.
But one detail made them even more upset. The report suggested the driver was probably
and there it is. And that's what
that likely caused the.
And that ruins the entire ploy of what I said. Like, if it was genuinely an accident, it's wrong, it's fucked up, it sucks. But ultimately, like, that happens. Like, things like that happen where accidents happen. And you can, yes, the person who is to blame is the person who was driving, and they should have stopped, they should have helped. That's what makes them wrong. But we already knew this guy was a bad guy. That's not the point of what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, people make two decisions in the moment. They either make the right decision or they make the wrong decision. There's no gray, right? Unless like there is like an explicit detail that is left out. This one, he was just in the wrong full-heartedly, and he knew that if he stopped, he would get in trouble 100%. So he's just a piece of shit.
Crash. People wanted answers, so they asked.
When I like talk about this stuff and I go, oh bro, this is probably what he was thinking in this moment, and this and this and that and this, and this is probably why he did this. I'm not saying he's right. I already told you he's wrong. I just want to make sure everybody understands, like, when they watch my videos, they're not like, wow, this guy's defending this. No, bro, this guy sucks. But I'm just trying to also understand where he might have been coming from in his mindset. That's all I do. I just like to jump into like the human psyche, and like develop, like, I like psychology. I like thinking about the brain. I like thinking about all the ways people think in the certain situations and how they react and why they react like this. So that's why I do that. It's just simply as like, so he did this for that reason, maybe? Like, what's the other reasons he could have done this? You know what I mean? It's intriguing in the sense of like, why would the would you not stop and help? I get like, other than, and then you go, oh, he was probably panicked and shit like that. Anyway, sorry, Chad. That's just a yaps ass. I just don't want people to think that I think what he did was right. Nah, he's a piece of shit, especially since he's intoxicated. Like I said, there's always more. Like I said.
Were you drunk? As the article says, he admitted that he was. Then the questions became more personal. Users
more
asked
high
how he
than
could
drunk,
live with
chap.
himself
More
and what he
high.
did. Some called him stone cold. He defended himself, saying this:
It's been 30 years. That child probably has children of its own.
the biggest issue was how he escaped. The Reddit user said he sped away in his car, but the article told a different story. It said the driver drove into a curb, jumped out of the car, and fled on foot. That difference raised doubts.
He maybe stumbled upon the 1996 article online, memorized key details like the year and the street name to make it seem real, and then fabricated the rest of the story.
Just in case, people sent screenshots of the confession to California police. But the status of the case did not change. According to official records, the hit and run is
Was bro lying and just wanted attention? Is that the world we live in? People post on Reddit and other places just to get attention when it's a complete fucking lie and they were not involved in the situation at all. And then they choose to be the bad guy just for attention. Because you know, and you saw that he was responding to every comment. This guy was actually feeling himself being the bad guy in a situation where somebody died. That is like a level of like psychology that I can never ever amount to actually even try to understand. It's like, okay, you can, but the point is like, what the like, you can't make sense of it. You can understand it by going, okay, yeah, I get that, but no, that literally it doesn't track. It doesn't make sense. He just wanted attention, and this is the only thing that he could think of. Fucking excuse of a human being. That is insane, bro. That is wow.
still
That
unsolved.
makes me
This
mad.
person was wanted for murder and actively posted about it online.
What are
The
we
murder
doing,
confession.
bro?
When someone is accused of a crime, they usually do one of two things. They defend themselves in court or they go on the run. In May 2017, one man did both. He ran from the police, and at the same time, he told this story online. The post was titled "Wanted for Kitchener Murder, My Side."
This is actually kind of interesting. Wanted for Kitchener murder, my side. I don't hate this, depending on where this goes, because maybe he's trying to defend himself and he doesn't. Because a lot of people, when they go on the run, there's two reasons they go on the run. One, they are guilty, correct? Like they did the issue and they are guilty and they don't want to get caught and they just want to like live and survive and not go to prison, right? Two, they are innocent, but there's no way they can prove that they're innocent. They were either set up or yada yada, and they're running to either try to live their life or try to prove their innocence by not going to jail so they can get all the stuff that they need to prove it. Now, with that being said, let's listen to this guy's story.
Is the case that the post was talking about. A woman named Melinda was found lifeless in her apartment in Ontario, Canada. Police opened an investigation. The primary suspect was Melinda's 24-year-old boyfriend. His name was Agar Hassan, but they couldn't find him. He was on the run. Police made a tweet declaring Agar wanted, but by then Agar was far gone. Cameras caught him crossing the border from Canada into the United States. Soon after, cameras picked him up again, this time in Pennsylvania. He was seen taking a license plate from a parked car. Police believed he was heading toward Mexico. They spread his wanted posters across the internet. While on the run, Agar went on Reddit. He wrote a long post telling his side of the story. In the post, Agar admitted to ending his girlfriend's life, but he claimed it was an accident, that he did it in self-defense. He also said he wasn't planning to run forever. He just needed time to process everything before turning himself in. He also shared photos and messages between himself.
Drink some water and get some rest. Don't drive here. If you're feeling sick, I'll come to you. I don't even think I can make it to my dad. I feel that shitty. My whole body aches. I feel like I'm gonna faint. Okay, now I'm actually worried about you.
Melinda. The Reddit post went viral. It seemed like a Hollywood movie.
Come on, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Suspect explaining his side on Reddit.
Let's hear it.
Saw the post and called it potential evidence. Soon after, Agar's Reddit account was suspended, but it didn't matter. Screenshots of his confession spread everywhere. Meanwhile, police waited. In his confession, Agar promised to surrender, but he never did. For 2 months, Agar stayed out of sight, but he did not stay quiet. He kept posting online. On Instagram, he shared a photo of himself and Melinda. The caption read, "I regret every negative thing I ever did to you." Then he did something heartless. He sent a message to Melinda's mother, blaming her for the murder. He used a new account and pretended to be a stranger.
Just an outsider looking in. Sorry about what happened to your daughter. However, it seems like this could have been avoided had you not let her stay in the apartment after he broke in the first time.
Whoa!
Your fault.
Whoa. He said, this is your fault because he who's typing this decided to break in, and instead of moving her out of the apartment where he broke in the first time, she let her live there still because that's where they lived, and you broke in again and killed her, and this is her mother's fault? Or this guy's actually just fucking psychotic. No, this guy's actually terrifying. This is what the whoa. This guy just said, it's your fault for keeping her in the house I broke into once. Buddy, maybe don't break into people's houses, you fucking psychopath. What are we talking about trying to blame anybody else? You're the one who killed her. You're the one who broke into the house not once, but twice. You're the fucking freak of nature. You are not, this is, bleh. How do you even explain this? How is this a real fucking human being? How do you think like this? Fucking born in the wrong time period, dog. Jesus.
Around the same time, a separate case was unfolding in Texas. The Secret Service was investigating a counterfeit money operation. Their investigation led them to an address in San Antonio. Officers raided the location and detained several suspects. One of them was Agar Hassan. They found him by chance. He was
Are you fucking dumb? You've been on the run for 2 months. And your dumbass didn't get to Mexico or something? Like, I know you're actually just a fucking idiotic and pathetic monster of a human being, because your ass still decided to try to stay in the US. Like, Canada and US are like, they're not best friends, but they're also not fucking enemies, brother. You're still gonna get caught. Go to, like, what are we, bro? Oh my fuck, this is crazy.
Immediately. In 2018, Agar was extradited to Canada to face trial. Years later, a verdict was reached.
Agar Hassan has been found guilty of second-degree murder in the 2017 killing of his ex-girlfriend Melinda Vasiliev.
He was sentenced to life in prison.
Good.
The person in our next chapter convinced millions of people
God,
that they
good
were being
karma.
robbed. The whistleblower's confession. In January 2026, a Reddit user accused food delivery apps of scamming customers. He said he knew because he was a software developer at a big delivery company. So he wrote a long post exposing everything. When you place a food order for delivery, you often see...
Isn't it? Yo, I just want to say this. It's kind of crazy, though, when you make a long tweet or a long Reddit post, because it's risky. Because the reason I'm saying this is, yes, you're getting a lot of information in there, and you're making people's brains who are just simply reading it go, wow, there's so much information. This sounds believable. And then the people who actually know what the fuck you're talking about, it becomes a situation of like, there's a lot of discrepancies with this. Watch. I'm guaranteeing you that's what happened. Somebody read it and they're like, wait a second, I actually know this stuff and I actually work for this. Like, a lot of what he said here is just bullshit.
Extra charges. Each one is supposed to do something different. One is called a priority fee. Paying it is supposed to move your order to the front of the line. That means you get your food faster. Another is called a driver benefit fee. This fee is meant to help support drivers, like helping with healthcare or insurance. The priority fee and driver benefit fee go 100% to the company. The driver
I've worked as a DoorDash driver, by the way, so I would know a little bit.
The supposed scam worked. He started with the priority fee. He claimed the app slows down normal orders on purpose. So when you pay for priority, your order is not actually sped up. It just removes the delay the app created.
Well, in all technicality, that would still be faster service. Just saying.
To drivers. He said the food delivery companies take advantage of them. According to him, the app tracks driver behavior. Then it assigns something called a desperation score for each driver.
If a driver usually logs on at 10 p.m. and accepts every garbage $3 order instantly without hesitation, the algo tags them as high desperation.
Once a driver is labeled
crazy,
desperate, the system stops giving them high-paying orders. The logic is simple. If a driver will accept low pay, there is no reason to offer more. The app can predict which
this is wrong, by the way, but
well, when that happens, the company lowers the base pay for that delivery driver.
The result is that your generosity
that makes zero
driver, it's subsidizing us.
That one kind of makes sense, but at the same time, like, that is so fucking far-fetched. It's insane. I have bought so much DoorDash in my lifetime, brother, and that delivery fee has never dropped down, even when I would tip, bro.
You're paying their wage, so we don't have to.
Finally, he explained the driver benefit fee. Most people believe this money goes toward drivers' welfare. The Post claimed it does not.
In reality, that money goes straight to a corporate slush fund used to lobby against driver unions.
The company just keeps all of it. The confession went viral. It got over 87,000 upvotes. Someone shared a screenshot of the confession on X. It got 37 million views. People were angry. One wrote, "I pay the extra for priority on every single order and never tip less than 30% for these apps." So knowing it's not actually helping any of the people really annoys me.
It's
People
2026,
started
chat.
deleting their food delivery apps in protest. DoorDash and Uber Eats were hit the hardest. It was a serious
I'm gonna be honest, I never heard of this, chat. Like, this might be real and shit, but I've never heard of this. This just shows how much of the internet exists, bro. Like, I literally have never heard of this.
The companies had to do something to save the situation. The Reddit post didn't mention a specific food delivery app, but many felt the pressure to respond. An Uber Eats official said the claims were completely made up. Then DoorDash spoke up.
DoorDash is lashing out at a viral Reddit post that may or may not be referring to his company.
Imagine lying. Why would you lie about this? What the fuck do you gain from this, dude?
The CEO said this was not happening at his company. Still, people weren't convinced.
Quite an emotional response for something that has nothing to do with you, am I right?
Drivers also shared their views.
Bro had no proof, chat. Bro had zero proof. And everybody hopped on that shit like they were bouncing on a fat, juicy eggplant, brother. Like, that's crazy.
Some said the claims matched what they
Guilty,
experienced.
not guilty until proven guilty. That's the saying. Not like not guilty and proven. Wait, isn't it like not guilty until proven? Wait, innocent until proven guilty, and I swear to God, nobody listens to that shit.
At that point, a reporter decided to investigate the story. His name was Casey Newton. Newton reached out to the Reddit user who made the post. He asked for proof that the claims
Isaac
were
Newton's
true.
great-grandson.
The whistleblower sent a photo of an Uber Eats employee badge. The name was blurred to protect his identity. He also sent an 18-page internal document from Uber Eats.
The Reddit poster gave him what he claimed was an 18-page internal Uber.
This is where it starts to get kind of a little tricky if it's a lie.
Every claim perfectly, but the reporter was uneasy. Why would a company be dumb enough to write something like this? It would obviously get them into trouble.
It was sort of a cartoon villain's document about how you would exploit.
Well, yeah, but I also kind of think that like that probably is something that happens. I feel like all the people who'd have like big companies have wrote memos or big things like this, memoirs or something big about their stuff that they know is wrong, and the reason they do this is because everybody's under probably an NDA, so if you do this, you're gonna get in trouble. But with that being said, yeah, I guess, I don't know.
Being to the absolute maximum.
Newton decided to fact check. It turns out the badge itself wasn't real.
I would later learn that it had been generated by AI.
He checked the document too.
You're telling me you couldn't get a real Uber Eats badge? You are you kidding me, bro?
It was also AI generated.
Well, yeah, once one thing is AI generated.
In an article debunking the AI food delivery hoax that fooled Reddit. He explained how the entire Reddit confession was false. Shortly after, Reddit moderators removed the post. No one knows who the whistleblower was or why he made a fake confession.
Loki, imagine being that whistleblower and he knows something even worse about DoorDash or Uber Eats, and the reason he did this is because he knew that this would get attention. And the other thing that he has under his belt would not get enough attention, and that's actually 10 times worse. Not that it wouldn't get enough attention, it would get deleted instantly because they would never allow it to go public. But in all reality, like it is, like they're horrible companies, or he knows something. Like, why would they do this? What is the reason to lie about this? They get no money, they get no endorsements, all they get is a little bit of attention, but nobody knows who they actually are. So are they actually getting any attention? They're not getting money, they're not getting anything. All they're getting is for people to believe them. So what the fuck is actually going on? Also, how do we know this reporter? By the way, mind you, I just want to say this, I'm not saying that this guy isn't like a liar or anything like that, but it's like you're believing one party, but then you're not believing the other party, and then you're believing the other party because the other party simply said that it wasn't true. Even if he showed a little bit of proof, he could have AI generated and just made it seem fake. Like, there's so much that goes into this that I'm just like, damn, bro, like, is it like, how do we know why would this guy lie? That's what I would want to start with. I know that you can't always understand why people do certain things, but what the fuck would be his reasoning to lie about this?
Thankfully, the story was proven false. Despite that, many people still believe the claims are true.
Yeah,
this next chapter
proven,
is about a childhood
by the way,
secret that someone carried for 30 years before finally confessing.
What
the missing person's confession.
Oh no, this one might be fucked up. Oh god, dude, I love this guy's videos.
Accidentally ended someone. What went wrong? One reply was from a man with a 30-year-old secret. He wanted to come clean about something.
Please tell me you were anonymous, bro. If you're doing shit like this, just be anonymous. Chat. Honestly, I'm thankful that they're not. I'm thankful that they're stupid enough not to be anonymous. But y'all, why? Like, you're posting something like this under a Reddit post. You better not be using an account you've used before that has history, brother. Just go, oh, okay. I'll just type this out, not to feel guilty anymore, and be anonymous. Like, I'm not telling them to, but like, come on, dude. Like this is just for anybody in just the thought process. Like, why aren't they? That's what I'm curious about. Not that they shouldn't. Yeah, don't be anonymous. Let us catch your asses. But like, damn, bro.
That he did as a kid. He began by describing his childhood in Missouri. He and his friends had a secret hangout.
This when they were kids.
Cliff. One afternoon, they
you do something as a kid,
as usual, but someone was already sitting in their
if you do something as a kid and A, it wasn't with malicious intent or anything like that, I tend to forgive majority of people, because when you're a kid, you're not fully developed, you make a lot of mistakes. But I also think that if you repeat a situation where you continuously do something as a kid, that can also tend to lead towards a different thought process inside of my head. Hence why I don't really with Rakai very much. He's been like 15, 16, 17 through his streaming career, and I understand he's a kid, I understand he's young, and when you first make a mistake, that's fine. When you make another mistake, that's fine. But when you show the same pattern of disrespect and absolute I don't even know how to explain it, like just like awful tendencies, it just shows that you're not a good person, and you need to have a flip a switch before you become an adult, or when you become an adult, you're just going to be the same person. That being said, though, let's listen to this.
A dirt cliff. One afternoon, they went there as usual, but someone was already sitting in their special spot. It was another boy from the neighborhood. He had a learning disability.
Oh,
they told
no.
him to leave.
I've heard this story, I think.
He refused. The boy started throwing dirt and stones.
Damn!
The group reacted by chasing him. The boy ran near the edge of the cliff. And then the unthinkable happened. He fell. You can guess what happened. The boys made a pact. They would never talk about it. For years, they kept that promise.
It's like a fucking giant mistake. Should they have said something? Yes. Would we all have said something? I don't know. It truly depends on what type of person you are. If you truly don't care about, like, if you hold yourself below everyone else and you hold their mindset and priority above everyone else. Like, for example, like what I mean by that is, as humans, we want to protect ourselves before we protect anybody else, and that's only natural. Like, if somebody's dying, right, you're not gonna take that person's death, just a random person, mind you, you're not going to die for them because you want to live. Like, that's just a normal consensus. Now, with that being said, there's some people in the world who don't care about that, and they would easily die for somebody else, even if they don't know them. So I'm just curious, what would you do in this situation if you just pushed somebody off a cliff because they were throwing rocks at you? Ultimately, it was kind of their fault that this even started, but they had a learning disability. You didn't mean for them to fall off a cliff. You guys made a pact not to talk about it. Are you doing that? Are you telling somebody?
But the silence didn't last forever. 30 years later, one of the boys shared the story on Reddit.
He ain't no boy no more.
A lot of attention, but one detail made readers suspicious. In the confession, he wrote that his memory gets pretty fuzzy around the moment of the fall, like he wasn't sure how it really happened.
Led many people to believe that
that he pushed them. Ooh.
One of the other boys actually pushed.
People also questioned how they kept the secret for so long. If it was an accident, it would be hard to cover up.
Well, there was no internet. There was nothing there. He fell off a cliff in the middle of the woods. There's a lot of things that play into this. There was a lot less stuff back then. If they didn't push them, there's no prints. It's just kind of like.
I cannot imagine a world where nobody would go home and cry. Like, you'd be crying to your parents.
You can't imagine a world where kids who made a mistake and accidentally, like, let's just say that he was being honest and nobody pushed him and the kid just fell off the edge, right? Granted, I don't really know how that happens fully, but we'll just give him the benefit of the doubt in that sense, right? You're telling me you can't imagine a world where the kids go home and go, okay, like, we're not telling anybody. Like, as a kid, you think, like, there are so many stories where kids don't talk about certain instances that you would think they would easily talk about. And this instance is honestly probably a little, like, I would think, yes, somebody just passed away or died, but they don't want to get caught. They don't want anybody to get in trouble. They think, oh, if I tell someone, maybe my parents will get in trouble instead of me, or maybe I'll get in trouble. They don't like, that's just a thought process of like humans and kids, especially, who don't understand like how situations work and the severity. And even as an adult, some adults would not want to talk about this. Like that's the concept here, is like, it's not just kids who do this. It's adults too who go, oh my God, we made an accident. They cover it up because they don't want to get caught. So imagine a kid going home and yes, maybe he cried. Yes, maybe they cried, but admitting to this is a different thing.
About what happened.
Some began to wonder if it was not an accident at all. They wanted to find the person behind the post. Then they found a way. They realized the confession included...
Honestly, you shouldn't have posted about it, bro. Fucking keep it to yourself, bro. It's been this long. You don't need to talk about it.
Photo of the general area.
Karma's a bitch, man. It truly is.
The image showed the cliff, and that gave them a starting point. Internet detectives got to work. They studied the landscape in the photo. Soon they traced it to St. Charles in Missouri. From there, they searched old missing persons cases in that area. They found a possible match. A boy named Scott Clisholty. He disappeared in June 1988.
30 years ago today, 9-year-old Scotty Clisholty vanished without a trace. He hasn't been seen since, but
according to reports, Scott went into the woods to play. He never came back. Over time, the case went...
How old was he?
He vanished without a trace. He hasn't been seen since, but
according to reports, Scott went into the woods to play. He never came back. Over time...
9 years old. Okay, first off, what was dog allowed in the woods by himself? I don't give a who you are. Motherfucker was 9 years old and y'all let him go play in the woods by himself? Like, I guess times were different back then. That's like when murderers were around. Like, what? That is a crazy thing to do, bro. That sucks, dude. 9 years old and y'all chase him off an edge? I don't know.
Reddit users believed this case was linked to the Reddit.
That's kind of suspicious.
The timing matched, the location matched. The cliff in the photo was only a mile away from where Scott was last seen. They were so certain that they contacted the police.
The person that was finding all this information out actually did report the post to law enforcement in case this could help them solve a missing persons case, but nobody ever heard back.
But investigators weren't convinced. They believed Scott was kidnapped.
The information on the Reddit thread, it was forwarded to law enforcement. However, it seems the police are still going with the abduction theory.
The Reddit confession did not help solve
Why?
the case. Scott Clisholty is still missing. The post was later deleted, and the Reddit user behind it was never heard from again. This next confession is about the dark web.
Bro, that's confusing as holy.
Criminal who never got caught but felt guilt for the rest of his life. The dark web confession.
Damn.
His confession came from a criminal on the dark web, but he wasn't confessing because he felt bad about breaking the law. He was admitting to a mistake that led to multiple people losing their lives.
Multiple?
The post was titled,
"What the hell you do?"
For the demise of several people. To explain what happened, he started from the beginning. He said he never wanted a corporate job, so he chose a different path. He started selling illegal substances, but meeting buyers in person made him uneasy. He was afraid of getting arrested,
So that's valid. I mean, you're at this point of like, you're already like an illegal substance seller, so at the same time, like, I'm not saying we should die from this, right? But like, you're in this situation of like, they're buying something illegal from somebody they shouldn't be buying it from because it's not an actual vendor or anything like that. It's illegal, by the way, mind you. This might be a situation where I can actually go ahead and like not sympathize with him, but also be like, yo, y'all were both in the wrong. They ended up dying because of their choices that they made. Yes, you were ultimately the seller, but ultimately they were the buyer as well. And I know it's a situation where a lot of people go, well, if you're selling drugs and they're illegal drugs, people will buy them and then they'll die and it's your fault and we blame the person who sells the drugs. Yes, that is very true. But a lot of people who sell the drugs don't have any malicious intent. They don't mean for anybody to get hurt. They don't mean for anybody to die. They're just trying to make money. And I know a lot of people say, well, they're living off of people's like problems and issues. Yes, that is also true. But there's a lot of other things that go into that. And there's a lot of other situations that mold into that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, yes, you can be mad at whoever you want. Personally, for me, if somebody from my family passed away due to buying like illegal drugs and that's the reason they passed away, I don't know if I would blame the seller because I'm like, you're the reason this is happening. But I'd also be like, I kind of go, well, this person made this decision to continuously do this. Even if it was an addiction, they continuously did this. Even if it's an addiction, you still make the choice to continue doing it. No matter what the addiction is, no matter what it is, you still make the choice to continue doing it. So at the end of the day, any repercussions or issues that happen from it, you're at fault for them. You can't just go, well, he sold me this. No, somebody else might sell it to you. You'll find a different way to get it. That is just what an addiction is. Yes, the seller is at fault for existing and allowing this to happen, but just like there's one rat in your house, there's probably 10 others. Like, you get rid of one, doesn't mean you're going to get rid of them all, and you can't just blame the seller because somebody's choosing to buy that from the seller. They're not forcing them to buy it.
Moved everything online. He found a marketplace on the dark web.
Now, had they been the reason they started, that's a whole different topic. If they are the reason they started doing those drugs, 100% blame them. Beat the fuck out of them. If they're the reason they got addicted, you can hate them all. Like, I will back you 100%. But just because somebody is, like, say somebody's already addicted, right? They've been addicted for a long time, and they buy from this guy and they happen to pass away because of this guy. That is not the seller's fault, in my opinion. That is the buyer's fault. And the reason I say that is because it's an addiction, buying illegal substances, stuff that they already know is bad, stuff that isn't allowed to be sold. This isn't the same conversation as if you buy from a food store, from a vendor who's selling food, and you happen to get sick and die. That is two completely opposite stories. So if anybody brings up that argument, goes, well, what if you buy from? No, you're allowed to buy. You're supposed to buy. This is where you're buying from. This is a shop to buy from. There's a restaurant to eat at. This is a situation where if you get seen by the cops doing this, you will go to fucking jail.
Profile. Orders started coming in. The business grew fast.
Things were going well, and even upgraded from selling just 3 substances to shipping several much more potent options as well.
He tracked every order.
Is it good? No, it's fucking awful. Bad dude.
Over time, he focused on 2 main substances. Both were powders. They looked the same, but they were very different.
Coke and fentanyl.
Less harmful. The other was extremely dangerous, especially if too much was taken. The vendor handled everything himself. He checked orders, packed them, and shipped them out. The process wasn't perfect though, and one day it failed. While packing orders, he mixed up the 2 identical substances. He sent the wrong.
Now this is a concept of if you end up having an OD. Well, that's what I was talking about. This is on him, brother. Why are they in the same area, my guy? That's like having rat poison and then, like, we'll just say like soda in a fucking right next to each other. Like, what the or rat poison and chocolate right next to each other. What the fuck are you doing? What are we doing? Are you actually brain dead? Bro, oh my.
Product to the wrong people. The next was tragic. He didn't realize the mistake for some time. He kept running his business like normal. Then a message appeared in his inbox. A customer complained that their friend passed away after using the product. That's when the vendor checked his supply and realized the mix-up. As time passed, he learned the full impact. 4 buyers who received the wrong package passed away. He said he was overwhelmed with guilt, so he shut down his dark web store immediately. After that, he got a job at a restaurant. He said he never sold substances again, but the guilt stayed with him. After reading his confession, many users responded. Most showed support. They gave advice, showed sympathy, and told him to seek therapy. The confession is still online as of today. These confessions.
Wow. See, that's a situation where it's genuinely an accident. And I'm not saying he's right for having those people had to have died. And it sucks because he is in the fault. He fucked up the orders. That's not what they ordered. They will have lived. But I also want to just say, people who buy certain things or do certain things that are legal, you're always kind of weighing a risk. And in life, you're always weighing a risk. But when you do certain things, like no matter who you are, if you walk down an alley with people down it, you're risking, like, just as a shortcut, you're risking yourself more danger than if you just took the long way home. And like in this situation, if you're buying illegal substances, you're risking yourself more than if you were buying it from an actual vendor. It doesn't matter. Of course, it's not their fault that they pass away. This is just like an absolute tragedy. But it's a situation of, like, if you're playing with like a BB gun, you don't weigh as much risk as if you're playing with a real gun and shooting it and ain't like practicing. Like, these things, there's different like levels to certain situations. And if you're doing something illegal, you're already putting yourself on a pedestal much higher than other people of a risk of danger, like of dying, of causing injury, of hurting yourself. And is he right for having done this in the first place? Absolutely not. He's a fucking awful human being. If you sell drugs that are illegal, you're fucked up and you're awful. I don't like you at all. And if you buy them, it's the same concept. It's just, I understand in a sense, but it's still, you're still on the same level. I'd say you're not on the same level, but I'd say that if you end up dying from that, there's no, like, I sympathize with the addiction that you had, and I wish that never happened, but I also understand that you made a choice continuously doing this. I know people with addiction in my life, and if they passed away from certain things, it would suck and it would break me. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you are continuing to decide to do this. Is it hard to break it? Is it hard to stop it? Yes, it is. But that doesn't mean you're not at fault for the decisions you have made. But yeah, that's a tragic one. That one actually kind of made me tear up, bro. That one actually got me. That was fucked. 4 people, man. And then he just changed his entire life. But that shit, like, it's not even like it's gonna hurt the people who are in their lives. They're always gonna, but the people in their life aren't even gonna go, well, this guy, they were murdered by a random. They're just gonna think that they overdosed and that they fucked up, and ultimately that could have been what happened in the future or something. But so they're not, the family members are gonna be hurt and they're gonna be sad, but they're just gonna think it was that situation by them, that person's fault, which it was. But it wasn't in this situation, because it would have been more their fault had they OD'd versus literally getting the wrong thing. They didn't order that, dude. Like, and yes, he changed his ways, but that doesn't mean that won't stick with him forever. Like, and I think that is punishment for a good person, is the factor that you make a mistake and somebody ends up dying from it. It sucks that that's what had to happen, but now you're fucked. Like, your brain will always be messed up, and he changed his ways and became a better person. And just, it sucks that 4 lives had to be taken for that. Oh, dude, this entire situation's fucked, man. That one actually hit me deep, bro. Damn. Like, I know people have gone through like bad moments in their life and bad situations, and it's just like, this could happen to anybody, and it's nobody's fault, really. It's like, it's the person selling it because they fucked up, but it's also the person buying it because they're buying something illegal, knowing that there's a chance something might go wrong, the wrong product, something might happen, the product might be mixed wrong. There's so many other damn facets to the situation that go beyond just a simple, oh, well, he made a mistake, it's his fault. Oh, well, they ordered illegal drugs, it's their fault. No, bro, fuck me, that's human lives, man. GG's though, that was crazy. All right, W video. This guy makes
didn't destroy
some of the best videos.
Lives. Their choices did. The confession was just the moment the world found out. So my friends, make the right decisions even when no one is looking. Visual Venture.
Damn, bro, this guy makes some great videos. Go sub to him, chat. Original video down below. W fucking video, bro. Holy.